ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elson Cruz, and I am pleased to present Alice, Madness Returns. This game is a sequel to the year 2000's American McGee's Alice, and despite only taking place 1 year in-game, this particular Madness Returns wasn't released until 2011, which makes it a bit of a leap as far as sequels go. But I actually really enjoy this. I kind of was like, on Alice because it's kind of archaic in platforming and combat, but I still really like the lore of this game. I really like the atmosphere and even the art design, which might sound weird. A lot of people don't like this game, but personally, I have a soft spot for it. And, you know, keeping with traditions of last year's October festivities and playing the first one, we will be doing Madness Returns this year. And so, be forewarned, I just want to say this before we get started. This game is very disturbing. If you are here from like Skyward Sword or Kingdom Hearts or hell even Plants vs. Zombies, which this game is going to be replacing, just be warned, this game is really disturbing and it's actually really gory and horrifying. Just keep that in mind. We'll be playing on Nightmare, mostly because there is a New Game Plus, but of course you guys know how I feel about New Game Plus. But Nightmare is not really that bad. It's not nearly as bad as the hardest difficulty in Alice. But there are some really tough bits, and we got gamma issues here. So yeah. Are you guys ready for this? Because I really enjoy this game, and I hope to do it a bit more justice than I did with the first Alice game. So, yeah, fantastic stuff.
Come now, Alice. It's only a dream.
It's not a dream, it's a memory. And it makes me sick.
Now, focus. Wait. You're floating again. Weightless. A cipher. Relax.
I'm in hell.
Forget it. Abandon that memory. It's unproductive. Go to Wonderland.
I can't. I'm trapped. My past.
Sergeant, this girl's badly hurt. Call for a doctor.
She'll be all right.
No, Alice. Discard that delusion. Forget it. Go to Wonderland.
I'd rather not, Doctor. My Wonderland's shattered. It's dead to me.
Your preference doesn't signify, girl. Now, Alice, where are you?
I'm sailing with a friend. It's different somehow. Things have changed.
Change is good. It's the first link in the chain of forgetting.
What's happening? Are you mad?
I'm not mad.
Rabbit,
That's not right. What's he doing?
is something wrong?
Something wrong?
Not that!
Don't struggle, Alice. Let the new one emerge.
Corruption? It's killing me. Wonderland is destroyed. My mind is in ruins.
Forget it, Alice. Block that dream. Wake at the sound. There, Alice. Better now, aren't we?
My head's exploded and there's a steam hammer in my chest.
Yes, well, the cost of forgetting is high.
My memories make me vomit. What can I...
Remember other things.
I want to forget. Who would choose to be alone, imprisoned by their broken memories?
I'll set you free, Alice. Memory is a curse more often than a blessing.
So you've said many times, and...
And I will say again, the past must be paid for. Now, before our next session, collect those pills from our high street chemist.
Very well, Doctor.
It's my turn to forget, Alice.
Now, Charlie, your pa was hung for killing your ma who beat you. Let's forget that, shall we? The past is dead, Charlie.
Well, if that doesn't set the tone for this game right away, then I don't know what does. Anyway, here we are in control of our intrepid protagonist, Alice Little. That was Dr. Angus Bumby, and he's the head/psychiatrist of the Houndsditch Home for Wayward Youth, which is kind of an interesting little area that we're now in. Despite the optimistic, turn of events at the end of Alice 1, this game, well, we're finding ourselves in a home under psychiatric care once again, with a bunch of orphans, and these kids are kind of dicks. Here we've got the boys' room, and there's some random stuff to do here, like this kid.
Wear bloomers.
If I didn't know any better, I would think he was saying something else, but apparently smalls is a British dated slang term for underwear, so that's kind of a little thing. We can explore these rooms a little bit. There's nothing really here. We can go into first-person camera mode here and look at this dismembered doll on this bed here. It's very disturbing, to say the least, but the art direction in this game is amazing. Like, it takes place in 1875, Victorian London, and it's got this like feel to it that is just like so vaudeville, just like great safe home. Oh, and you'll notice since I'm using the digital copy of this game, some of the textures don't come in as immediately as the disc does, which is kind of unfortunate. Here we've got some old toys, abandoned toys, and worn out shoes have a past, and people use them too. The past was consumed by fire, so she's still kind of guilt-ridden about the whole fire that took her entire family a while back, which happened at the end of most Alice-related events. Here we've got the illustrated news. Fire at match factory, 6 girls missing. World's gone quite mad. Yes, it has. All right, so
in the loony bin.
Oh.
No relation. She's an orphan.
Ah, God, these kids are jerks. These insane children. God, if you guys remember from the first game, I'll be making a lot of references to that game in this just to keep you guys posted. But
how humble a home could be.
what?
If not for my drawings and the photographs, this could pass for my room at the asylum.
So this is Alice's room. You'll notice she has some pictures from her time in Wonderland, some being, the Wonderland you guys are familiar with, as well as the ones in the last game. And when I say the familiar ones, I mean mostly the 1961, I believe, was when the animated one came out by Disney. But this is Alice's family. You notice Mr. and Mrs. Little up there, but then you've got the older sister, Lizzie, and she's pretty important to the story, as is Mr. Angus Bumby. So right here, you'll notice this is the only thing remaining from her home, and she has no idea who sent it to us. People say that it was the psychiatrist, Mr. Bumby, that did that. But we'll get into that later, because this game is an entire conspiracy theory, and I freaking love it. So, we got kids here playing with a dollhouse. So there are certain things you're really going to want to pay attention to if you want to kind of, make the best out of the experience that we're getting out of here. First person is not very good, very suitable for this, but we head outside.
Dream, perhaps.
Yes. So if we try heading off over here, you'll notice this area is a little bit blocked off. This game is pretty linear, but there is a lot of good things that come out of it. Notably, I would say, the psychological senses in this game is just, like when I was younger, when I was in high school, I really wanted to be a psychologist, and this pretty much hits the nail on the head in terms of psychological horror, and you guys will see what I mean by that later. At first, it just kind of seems like, oh, dark and dreary Tim Burton nonsense, but it's like... Wait, were you talking to me, or... I don't know who that I was talking to. So if you come over here, there's a little bit of foreshadowing in this area. You've got some kids playing.
Where's her black? Too good for company. She don't get close. Hates being touched. Who likes it then? Never slapped, spanked, more like.
Okay, so that wasn't the one, but you've noticed there's a small child here facing a wall.
In this train of cars, with moonbeam windows and with wheels of stars. So hush, you little ones, and have no fear. The man in the moon, he is the engine here.
Okay, so we'll get into more of that later, because that is kind of foreshadowing the end of the game. Sandman and the train of cars. We got a nice little cat here. So a lot of these people are just here for decoration. There's like, oh hey, we live in London, we can't go this way. This guy's bouncing. We'll be returning here a couple of times just so you guys know that this isn't the only... We're not going to be in Wonderland the entire time like we were in the last game. We've got a butcher over here with some pigs. Those are going to be kind of important for the game. We've got random stuff here. We'll be going to like whorehouses and stuff. You guys will see what I mean later. This guy's just going to be looking very, very strange. There's a small cat here.
Puss, 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 puss. Don't be afraid.
Alright, so let's go follow the cat, of course. That is what Alice does. And you notice there's a police guy blocking us off over here.
I can run you in just for being off your nut.
Okay, so they're just totally beating that guy. God, social commentary in an Alice game by American McGee. Who would have thought? Anyway, we go follow the cat into this very dark, very dark alleyway, and this is kind of what I mean. This game is very dark in the sense like you can't even see the freaking corners there. But we have to go over there. If we try going off over here. This is a strange little thing. All living things die eventually. Still, creatures' remains are always poignant. And you'll notice the cop is actually done beating the guy. I don't think he's dead. I think he dies later, but a lot of the NPCs kind of look similar here, and just random other characters we'll meet. But upon following this Mr. Puss Puss Puss, you'll notice a lot of things that are in Wonderland will actually correlate back into the real world. So those kids in the asylum, Dr. Bumby, even Charlie, the person we're going to get our pills from, various, other people out here, they have a place in Wonderland. It's kind of reminiscent of Majora's Mask in the sense that, they have a Termina counterpart to the Hyrulean, kind of like that, but it's much more fascinating in my opinion. So let's go. Yes, alright, yeah, don't follow furry creatures into holes, Alice. And so, yeah, there was actually a beta portion of this game that didn't make it into the final cut, and we'll get into it in just a minute, but it would have started here as kind of a different little scenario.
Stars and garters, Alice Little. Slumming again, are we?
Nurse Witless. What luck. Twice in as many months.
Out on your own? You look frazzled, dearie. Not doing well?
Not really.
Come along home then and look at my pigeons. Pretty birds, like you.
I don't think so. Our last visit cost me several pounds and got me nowhere.
I might recall where your mangy rabbit got to. Still a mess. No surprise. Her kin roasted like chestnuts right before her eyes. 10 years in Rutledge Asylum wasted everyone's time. Dr. Bumby won't do better. Still hauling out her questions. The fire, her memory. I deserve consideration, don't I? Who found her new clothes? Who got her a place at Bumby's? Where'd she be without me? On the street, selling her backside. Likes my pigeons, though. She's doled out the odd pound or two. But I know it's worth more than that. Kept her secret, haven't I? Heard her say, "Oh, died on my account, I couldn't save you." I've told her my silence is for sale. Keep. I'm a good sort, really. Not like her nanny, that uppity whore. Or that lawyer fellow Radcliffe took a stupid rabbit. Need money. Warned her I'd tell the coppers if she didn't make a donation to my upkeep. She yells and goes off her head. Does she can't remember her name, what I heard.
So that was Priscilla Witless, and it's implied that, she actually worked at the Rutledge Asylum where we were in the first game while the events of, Alice were taking place. But here, she's just kind of also a helper at the orphanage now, which is a little bit strange. And after this point, she is not mentioned anywhere else in the game. But you notice when we were confronted by all the Jabberwocks that were down there, an enemy from the past game, a boss that was really friggin' annoying, everyone was one. And there's a scene here where, because we're going to be going at Wonderland here in just a moment, there was a deleted scene in the beta where you had to jump across a bunch of rooftops here because you accidentally push her off the edge here. You'll see.
I won't say no. I've a thirst you could photograph. Need a drink. Pretty birds, like you.
No wonder. It's only a dream.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to Wonderland.
upsetting journey, but I'm rid of Pris, or whatever she's become. At least the place I've landed is somewhat familiar.
About time, too, Alice.
Blasted cat. Don't try to bully me. I'm very much on edge.
Perfect. When you're not on edge, you're taking up too much space.
You're no help at all.
But you know I can be.
I'll frighten myself when necessary, thanks very much. I was hoping to escape from all that.
Abandon that hope. A new law reigns in this Wonderland, Alice. It's very rough justice all round. We're at risk here. You be on your guard.
And he's right, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at the Vale of Tears once again, an area that makes a reappearance from the first Alice game. Now, there's still a very platforming element to this game as well as combat, but both have been incredibly, you know, reshaped and revamped. And just look at this area, just like this area is gorgeous, but even at its like worst, when there's like blood splurting everywhere and everything, this game is very gory. It's very strange as well. You know, it's a very strange cowhead creature over here. There's a lot that we can do here. Like I said, the game is a little bit linear, but it's fun and I like it, and it's more or less the same as before. Here we've got memories, and these are mostly collectibles for, you know, concept art and character art and stuff like that, as well as random things.
I swear, you jump so well.
So, depending on what kind of memories you get, the little house there is supposed to be memories of her childhood and her family. The beginning ones are mostly just tutorial ones, but we'll randomly be getting other ones that kind of give insight to the backstory. So, and these are pretty easy to find for the most part. You don't need to go too much out of your way, but we can twirl, which is also very kind of interesting because you got yourself a nice little double jump here, and I fell because I suck. I don't think there's actually anything down over here, but you can backtrack through here, and so it's not that big of a deal. I just got to get back into the groove of this because it is a little bit kind of weird when you're doing your jumping and twirling and stuff everywhere, but it's not that bad. I just gotta get into the groove of it once again because it's been a little bit since I played this, but I'm more like into the lore instead of the actual game. There we've got ourselves a white mushroom from Kingdom Hearts just running away. We've got another house memory.
If you leap from that table again, Alice, I'll expire. You're 2 times too reckless, my girl.